Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunattu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena,
Devan bhavayatanena,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
Dasyante yagna bhavitaha,
Dasyante yagna bhavitaha,
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha,
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha,
Yo bhungte stena eva saha,
Yo bhungte stena eva saha,
Yagna shishtashinah santaha,
Yagna shishtashinah santaha,
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi,
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi,
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
Ye pachantyatmakaranat,
Ye pachantyatmakaranat,
Annad bhavanti bhutani,
Annad bhavanti bhutani,
पर्जन्यादन्न संभवः
पर्जन्यादन्न संभवः
यज्ञाद्भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञाद्भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः
यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last session, we were seeing the two different approaches you can have towards others. You can keep blessing others, that is, wishing good for others, or you can wish negative things for others. That is destructive. Now, in these verses where he is talking about yagna, as he is introducing this concept of this principle of yagna, and as he is giving the different facets of yagna, he has put it in a very dramatic style where the Creator is blessing everyone. It is a language of benediction or the language of blessings which has been used. Now, that is what is very interesting. Instead of saying directly that wish for others, he has put it in that language itself. See, that is one way by which you can communicate and ensure that whatever you wanted to communicate, the energy of it is picked up by the deeper mind of the other person. That is, instead of saying it directly, explicitly, you structure the whole communication with that energy, with that principle which you actually want to convey. This is one very interesting way of communicating which our masters have employed. So you can also use this method of communication in your life. So if you see, he has dramatized it by saying the Creator is there, and then he's creating, and then the Creator starts blessing. The Creator starts wishing for the welfare of everyone. Now when you keep on reading this in the previous verse and then in this verse, split into many lines, Prasavishadhvam, may you prosper, may you propagate, may you flower. Let this be the Ishtakama-duk, the fulfiller of all your desires. And then in this verse, may you nourish the gods by this. Means may you increase the divine nature within you. May the gods nourish you. And what you get back will be all positive things. And parasparam bhavayantaha, nourishing each other, shall you obtain the highest good. So when you keep on reading this, without your knowledge, the energy which you will absorb is the energy of blessing. See, you should learn to bless yourself and to bless others. You should wish good for yourself and wish good for others. This is also something which you need to note. Because many people think that wishing good for themselves is selfishness. No. Wishing good for yourself but not wishing good for others, that is only selfishness. For example, if a parent has this wish, my son, if he studies well, if he gets this percentage, I'll be so happy. That is not selfishness. But if she says, let my son do very well, but better than others. See, generally when we say, let my children come first, the indirect meaning is others should lag behind. That becomes selfishness, because you're saying only me and those I am attached to should prosper. I don't care about others. That is the unsaid meaning. That is the energy which is dormant there. So you should always check yourself. First of all, the energy pattern which is running within you, is it that of blessing or is it that of cursing? There will be a mix only. It can never be 100%, because no one is free of all the weaknesses. So when it is not 100%, whatever percentage of the negative is there, you should slowly do your sadhana and convert it into divine energy. The work of a divine being is to go on blessing, is to do good to others. And when I say others, that is inclusive of yourself also. I'll explain to you how we derive that. See, today your identification is with your body. So you are seeing a difference. Here is me and then there are others. So what causes the difference between you and others? It is the physical body. And then the mind, that is the emotions associated with that individual who is functioning in the physical body, and also the thoughts. Now, as long as you are in the realm of the physical body, the emotions and thoughts, you are going to see a difference between yourself and others. Because your body is different from the bodies of others. Your emotions are different from the emotions of others. Your thoughts are different from the thoughts of others. Sometimes here and there they may match, but they can never be exactly the same. Like even with respect to the physical body, sometimes two people can look very similar, but they can never be exactly the same. It's the same thing to do with the emotions and thoughts also. So when you consider yourself as these equipments, when you're caught up in this limitation, you will see a difference between yourself and others. But in spirituality, what do we do? What is the meaning of evolving? One of the main things is we disidentify ourselves from the physical body, emotions and thoughts and start identifying with the higher self, the Paramatma. Now, the higher self, you may call it soul, you may call it Paramatma, you may call it higher self. Because see, anyway, the words cannot express the infinite fully. So, some word we are using to indicate that. So, when you start focusing all your energies on your higher self, now what happens is you start getting established in this experience of the higher self, which is infinite in nature. And the moment we talk of something being infinite, it means there are no divisions. So the higher self in you is the same higher self which is present in others also, which is the same self which is present everywhere. It is a universal divine force, divine energy. Again, I am using different words so that your mind may relate to something and it can hold on to it. But more than the words, you should get to the principle. So when you consider yourself as the higher energy, that is the infinite self, then there is no difference between you and others. You are the self. Then this physical body itself becomes outside you, your own physical body. What you are calling as yours today becomes equal to others only. That is the highest state of objectivity. The great yogis, the siddhas, the sages, they were able to achieve that state through intense meditation and sadhana. They were able to identify with that infinite self. And thereafter, once you start identifying with the infinite self, then you will start looking at your own physical body, your own emotions and your own thoughts as if it is somebody else's. See, today if I were to ask you to observe another person's physical body or emotions or thoughts, that is an objective experience for you. Why? Because you see yourself as separate. Your identification is with your body, emotions and thoughts. So the other person's body, emotions and thoughts are outside you. This is how your experience is today. Now when you withdraw your consciousness further inside and identify with the infinite self, now your own physical body, your own emotions and your own thought, that is what you are calling as your own today, will be viewed by yourself objectively. There will be no identification. You may use them, but the identification will not be there. So, what you are calling as yourself today, and see, when you say this is what is me, now look at all the others, I am relating to them. Now as you evolve spiritually, what you are calling as yourself today will come in the category of others. Then who are you? I am that infinite self. This was the experience of all the great masters, which they shared in different ways. See, the expressions may be different, the words used may be different, the style may be different, the language may be different. All these things do not matter. Ultimately, what is it that they are referring to? As a sadhak, you should get to the core of the matter. And the core is this only. There is that infinite self and there is this limited self. Now, when your consciousness is identifying with this limited self, then whenever you say I, it's not a question of saying, whenever you feel, you experience that I, you will experience it as the physical body, emotions and thoughts, that combination, which is the Jivatma. So when you say I, you're referring to that only. And when you say others, you're referring to the physical body, emotions and thoughts of others. You're not referring to the higher self or the infinite self of others. So there you are there and others are there. Now, as your consciousness shifts to the infinite self within you, now whatever you're considering as yourself today, that is a physical body, your physical body, whatever you're calling as your physical body, the emotions, thoughts, now become they become outside you, as it were. So when we say think, that is wish for the welfare of others, if you go very deep into it, you're also included in the category of others. You're not excluded. So that is why the great master said, wishing good for yourself is not selfishness. That is where it has to start from. If you stop there, that is when you stagnate and become selfish. So first, your identification is with the limited self. Then slowly it spreads to others around you. Then further others, further. Finally, your identification will come with that infinite self or that supreme being which is present everywhere in everyone and everything. That is called Loka Sangraha, which we'll be seeing in another few verses. He'll be talking about Loka Sangraha. So this is one very important thing which you need to realize. When you create that energy of blessing within you, wherever you focus it, that energy will flow. So it is impossible that you have negative thoughts for yourself and you have positive thoughts towards others. That is not possible. Many people, they get confused with this point practically when they are doing the sadhana, because it's been wrongly communicated by a few so-called teachers that you should not think about your welfare. If you cannot even think about your welfare, how can you think about others' welfare? How can you sustain that system? See, let us say whatever wealth you have, now you distribute everything to everyone. Now thereafter you will have nothing to give. So that's why our master said a portion of the wealth should be used for charity. The rest for doing your duties, for taking care of yourself, and then a good portion, at least 50%, should go towards savings and further growth. So many things they have given. Why? Because they always insist on creating a long-term system, a system which can sustain itself. We are not talking of just 1 day or 2 days. Whatever you have today, now give it off. Now thereafter there will be nothing to give. It shouldn't be like that. So either people don't do any good to others, or in the name of doing good they go to the other extreme and they start neglecting themselves. Such people also suffer. The first kind of people get into a lot of stress and selfishness. They become harmful also sometimes. The second class of people, they become highly frustrated. Like I've seen many people who say, I have done a lot of sacrifices, but I have got nothing in return. That itself shows the energy of frustration. And why has this energy of frustration come? Because you have applied this principle in a wrong way. So, no need to torture yourself in order to do good to others. When you try and do that, you will not be able to sustain it after a while. You will give it up. After a while, you will start complaining, you will start getting frustrated. I am doing so much good to others, but nothing is coming back to me in return. Nobody is thinking about me. Nobody is looking after me. All these complaints, these thoughts will start coming. They are all stemming from a fundamental frustration. And why is that frustration there? Because of the wrong application of this principle. So when the Creator is saying, may you prosper, prasavishyadvam, when he said that in the previous verse, now what you need to understand is, first of all, the Creator has prospered. He has everything. See, that is how it is described in the Puranas. Being in that supreme state, he is wishing for the welfare of others. So this is something very important which you need to note. So either people, in the name of taking care of themselves, they become highly selfish, which means only me, I, me, myself. Nobody else exists. Everybody else has to fit according to what I think is right. Everybody else has to cater to me. They will go to that extreme. Or people, in the name of doing good to others, now they start frustrating themselves. Whatever is due to them, legitimately. Legitimately means, I don't mean from a legal angle. I am saying from a spiritual angle also, from a karmic angle also. They tend to resist that. Now when you function that way, after a while, you will not be able to continue it. You will become highly frustrated. So both these extremes can lead you into trouble. Now what is the middle path? Whatever we saw last week, that is, wish for the welfare of others. Then what about me? that will be your question. That is why I straight away said, others means what you are calling as yourself today and what you are calling as others today. Because these great masters, they considered themselves as the infinite self. They identified with that supreme energy. And they considered their own physical body, the emotions and thoughts, as you are considering others. So supposing you are driving a car. Now the car is the vehicle which you are using. You know that. So you are driving the car, you are using the car. You will take care of the car very well. You will wash it from outside, you will clean it from inside. And then if the fuel is not there, you will fill it up. And you will ensure all the parts of the car are in good condition. All these things you will do. But you very well know that the car is only my vehicle. I am different from the car. You are using it, you are taking care of it, but if something happens to the car, that is not going to happen to you. Because there is a clear-cut demarcation. You are using the car, but you are not identifying with the car. That is why you are calling it as my vehicle. Now, when you identify with the infinite self, then you will consider your own physical body, your own emotions and your own thoughts as mere vehicles. You will take care of them very well. That is why wishing welfare is the energy which is being created from within. Wherever it is applied, it will start flowing there. So you will take care of the physical body. You will take care of the emotions. You will take care of the thoughts. You will take care of these limited equipments very well. And you will also wish for the good for everyone else. It's a natural process of spiritual evolution. So the difference, the fundamental difference between asuras, who are in this extreme, and devas, that is the gods, what is the fundamental difference? The fundamental difference is this person is constantly thinking of destroying others, and this person is thinking about the welfare of others. That is the fundamental difference. Now the degree will vary. Some people it may be 70-30, and for some people it may be 50-50. So that is how the different gods, different demons, they gave one name, for all these categories. And then when you take this to the 100% level, 100% divinity is that state of param shreyah, supreme goodness. So this is the fundamental understanding you should have. Now, which category do you belong to? You belong to all the categories actually. It's a wide spectrum starting from asuras to devas. See, supposing you were to do self-introspection, am I belonging to this category or that category? You cannot answer that. Nobody will be 100% this or 100% that. It is for easier understanding that they have divided it into different categories and given names. But practically, you will have portions of all the categories. Sometimes you will have a little negative thoughts. Sometimes you will have a little positive thoughts. Sometimes you may, in a moment of weakness, you may generate a very, very negative thought, which means your consciousness is drifted so much towards the lower. Sometimes you may get highly inspired. For example, it may be a session like this, or it may be, when you're doing your yoga sankirtan sadhana, or when you're attending the empowerment program, whatever, you may get really, really inspired and you may generate such positive energy. Then your consciousness is shifting towards the higher. So you're a mix of all these. Now what he's saying here is, may you nourish the gods by this. What should be your intention? Bhavayata. Bhavaka means the intention. We will see the other dimensions also as we go along. But first, because he's used the same word, the devan bhavayata anena, te deva bhavayantu, vaha parasparam bhavayantaha. Like this, he's going on using the word bhava. So fundamentally, what is the meaning of bhava? Bhavaka means your attitude. your intention. So what he's saying is, you have both these forces within you. You have the negative forces and you have the positive forces. Now, as a human being, you have a choice. What is the tool, first of all, which has been given to you to exercise that choice? See, it's no other creature, no other being has this choice. Only a human being has this choice, Purushartha. Now, what is the tool or the key which has been given to you to exercise this choice? It is bhavana, bhava, bhavaka. Bhavaka is a root word. Bhavaka means your intention. We always say, everything depends on your bhavana. These are all normal phrases which we use without even knowing what it signifies. The bhavana or the intention which you create is the tool for self-transformation. If you use that tool in the wrong way, it becomes a tool for self-destruction also. See, self-destruction is on one side, self-purification, self-development, right up to self-realization is on the other side. Now, which path are you going to take? What determines that? Your bhava, your intention, attitude. It does not matter where you are. Let us say you're 70% negative, 30% positive. What is the bhav? What is your intention today? Where do you want to go? That is the key. That is why in one of the later chapters, Lord Krishna says, even if you're the worst of sinners, means you have committed some very grave negative action, the moment you take a resolve and you want to change, you start focusing on me means the higher, then automatically your spiritual growth is assured. It's not only in the Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam also, very, very clearly. In the Uddhava Gita also it is mentioned. Don't worry about whether your mind is under your control or not under your control. Now, if your mind is already under your control, you have become a Sthita Prajna. You don't require any sadhana at all. So, obviously, there are going to be a lot of slips, there are going to be issues. Without issues, why should we even talk about a solution? See, only if there is a problem, there is a solution. No? Most people keep on complaining, I have this problem, I have that problem. That is exactly the reason why these great masters are saying, pick up this wisdom, do the daily sadhana. Why are they saying that? This is the antidote to that. So, in the Uddhava Gita, Krishna says, don't worry about whether your mind is so agitated, stressed, this, that and all. Your mind is running here and there. Let a person start bringing that bhav, that intention. From this moment onwards, I want to progress towards the positive, towards the higher. Then Krishna says, the divine energy will start flowing, the Guru Shakti will start flowing. I will help that person. Let him put that effort first, with that faith. Then he will start experiencing that divine flow of energy. So, when a student approaches a master does not judge a student based on that student's level. Because really speaking, nobody is at 100% level. If you are already at the 100% level, you don't require this sadhana, no? What the master looks for is the intention, is a bhavana, right? Okay, you're at the 10% level. Doesn't matter. If you have that intention to move up, then he will help. The Guru Shakti will start flowing. But if you don't have any intention to change, see, supposing, let's say, a person is an addict to smoking, is an addict to alcohol. Now, addiction is not an issue. It is the intention. Not having the intention to change is the main problem. Many people say, no, I want to change, but I am not able to. That and all is not possible. The moment you are not changing, it means you are not wanting to change. That bhavana, that intention is not there. Once you put that intention and then take guidance from the master, receive the Guru Shakti's energy, receive the higher grace, receive the healing energy, and you start doing your sadhana, it is only a question of time. Day by day, the transformation will start happening. So when sage Narada met the highway robber, he could see that his bhavana was different. He was a highway robber out of habit, but his bhavana was very positive. So he inspired him, he triggered that. And once the bhavana manifested the right attitude, thereafter the highway robber went through a process of transformation and he became the great sage Valmiki. The same thing happened with respect to Angulimala also. When he was also a deadly highway robber. Now when he met Lord Buddha, Buddha saw that inherently his bhavana was good. So he took him as his disciple. There was a complete transformation from a person who was being cruel to others. He actually attained enlightenment. So many instances are there where people who were at a so-called low level, but they showed that intention to move up and they got the guidance from the master and they became completely transformed. So when you read these incidents, immediately you should become very highly inspired. Because you are neither at minus 100 nor are you at plus 100. You are neither fully negative nor are you fully positive. You are a mix. So how do you now keep on increasing the divine nature within you, the good energy within you? He says, Bhavayata. Devan Bhavayata Anena. Bring that intention first, sincerity. It is not your external actions, it is not what you say. These things don't work here. The law of karma is infallible. It works with mathematical precision. It is not merely your actions or words. What is your bhavana, intention behind that? As Shakespeare said, one may smile and yet be a villain. So you may go to a master and say, oh, Gurudev, you are my master, this, that and all. But is he going to go by all that? If he does, then he is not a master. He will not get carried away by all that. He will only look at the bhavana. What is the intention you are showing? Are you willing to do the sadhana and are you willing to go through this process of self-purification, self-development and self-transformation? If yes, then you have a relationship with the master. If that intention is not there, there is no relationship. You may go and praise the master. All these things do not matter. It is just a general praise, that's all. A true master does not want any praise and all that. What he is looking for is that bhavana. So, when a master gives this wisdom, he gives it to everyone equally. But who absorbs maximum? That person whose bhavana is very good. See, when it comes to, let's say, 100 students are there, and one master is giving the same wisdom to all the 100. Each one will absorb according to one's bhavana. One person may have 10% bhavana, then that person will absorb only 10%. But here by bhavana we mean that positive intention. Another person may have 50% intentions, then that person will absorb 50%. Because one sadhak once asked me, "Sir, you mentioned that Valmiki had a negative past when, then he was blessed. He became the great sage. Similarly, Angulimala, who was very negative, became very positive. But that kind of a transformation is not happening for me. Even though I am doing my sadhana, the first sadhana is bhavana." See, sadhana doesn't mean merely just mechanically doing, studying the scriptures or just mechanically listening to the Yoga Sankirtan material. It is not that. Each and every aspect which is being given here is all a part of sadhana only. Why every Sunday different aspects are being given? When you keep on hearing them, without your knowledge, you are actually absorbing that energy. Then all that put together, you will start doing your sadhana with a tremendous bhavana. Your bhavana is being increased. And when your bhavana becomes very, very positive, when it becomes very divine, then you become divine. So always check your intentions. Today, see, your bhavana is one thing, that is your intentions. Your thoughts are one thing, your emotions are one thing, and then what you speak is something else. You feel something and then you speak just the opposite. And then your actions are running somewhere else. There is no integration between the actions, speech, emotions and thoughts. How do you integrate all these? How do you bring them in one line? The key is with respect, key is the bhavana, the attitude, intention. So bring that intention to develop. I am repeating it. It does not matter where you are. It does not matter what level of spiritual growth you are in. What matters is where you want to go from here. Even if you are at a wrong place, if you're very clear, I want to reach that place, somehow or other you may reach. You may take a little more time, but you will reach there. But if that intention itself is not there, then no master can help. The Guru Shakti will not flow. So, bring that bhavana of wishing for the welfare of others. So, this is said from a very high level. Others means what you consider as yourself and others. So, now we'll bring it to a relative level which will be easy for you to understand. Wish good for yourself. Here, yourself means, the limited self, the physical body, emotions and thoughts. And wish good for others also. This is what you need to practice. So last week I had given that principle. Now we are seeing the further subtler application of this. So selflessness doesn't mean you have to suffer. I don't know how people have got this wrong idea. And people develop an unnecessary guilt just because they are enjoying something. If you enjoy something at the cost of others, then only it is selfishness. So let not the welfare of yourself become a boundary. Let not your own family become your boundary of your identification. See, your boundary should go on expanding. First you, then your family, then the society, then your country, then the world. That's how you go on expanding your identification. It is an amazing principle which he is giving, and he has used that word, such an apt word, bhavayata, bhava. He's going on repeating that because bhavana alone is the key to your self-transformation. See, great yogis, where they're traveling from one place to another place. See, we have this concept, no? Every day I have to go from here to the temple to see God. I'm not saying that is wrong. That is also required at a certain level of spiritual growth. But what I'm trying to say is you should also start appreciating the higher principles. From here I have to go to another place which is some other corner of my country. Then that is why? Because that is a spiritual place. Today you're feeling all that. But great masters, yogis, they just were at one place and they kept on getting transformed. How is that? Because this journey is actually an inner journey. All the external practices which you do are only reminders to get you on to this path of inner purification. So as you keep on changing your bhavana, you will start destroying the asuric tendencies within you, the rakshasic tendencies within you, and you will start promoting the daivika, that is the divine nature within you. You will start nourishing the gods within you, the godly nature within you. The entire sadhana is focused on that only. Even if you go to the root of the principle of Yoga Sankirtan, what is it? It is nothing but capturing the divine celestial vibrations. We are using sound, music as a tool. Now, when you keep on exposing yourself to that, every cell will start vibrating at the divine frequency. Then you will become divine. The whole bhavana will change. So, may you nourish the gods. We have used the word nourish. The Sanskritam word is bhava. So, when we see the other dimensions of bhava, it will become more deep, more inspiring. But I want you to focus on that. So, you're watching these Sunday sessions every week. What is your bhavana? What is your intention? Why are you watching? Ask yourself. You're doing so many things in life. What is your bhavana? What is your intention? Never say, I am perfect. Some people say, no, I have not thought negative about anybody. But negative things are happening to me. It is not possible. You're fooling yourself. If you have not thought even a little bit of negative to anybody, then you are in a state of sthita prajna already. Instead, take responsibility. Some negative pattern you have created that is giving certain negative results. Now do the sadhana and change that energy pattern. We always have this tendency to block ourselves and put the blame on others. If nobody else is there, you will put the blame on God. Some people say, I am so good. Why is God punishing me? Which means, what you're saying is, I am good, God is bad. See, the complaining nature can go to such a level where you start blaming God also. There is no end to this weakness. So if you can catch hold of that word, bhava, first dimension which has been given us of bhava is your intention, attitude. Then you have got that key in your hand, in your hand, the key with which you can actually transform yourself. When more dimensions are given, the depth of this principle will go on increasing. So, using the bhava is as you go on increasing your divine nature, gods. So, we will look into this devaha also a little bit, in a little more detail, so that it becomes very clear for you. The word devaha actually means, literally, it means God, one who is divine. A person who is divine is defined as devaha. Now, with the background which I have given, you will understand that nobody is 100% divine or 100% demonic and all that. It is always a combination. When the percentage of divinity is more than the negative, then they started calling such a person as a god. See, because one sadhak has asked this question, we find that in the Puranas, gods also make mistakes. Indra, it has been given in the Puranas, no? Many a times he has made mistakes. Yes, because Indra has not reached the ultimate good, that Param Shreya he has not reached. He is at a certain level of spiritual development. But he is not sitting all the time wanting to destroy others. So the percentage of goodness, the percentage of the higher energy should be increased. And at this percentage, they gave one particular name. At this percentage, they gave another name. All are gods only, but different gradations. Similarly, when it comes to the negative also, when the percentage of negativity is at this level, you are in this loka, Atala loka, for example, then Vitala loka. Like this they went on. Up to Patala loka they have described. So many lokas, so many experiences. So now as a sadhak, you should use this wisdom to see what is happening within you. We are all the time oscillating from negative to positive. Wide spectrum is there. So using this bhava is as you go on increasing the divine nature. So devaha means God, one who is divine. Now, first of all, we'll divide our existence into three for easier understanding. In each of that three, that is the three divisions, we will see what is the meaning of devaha, gods. This will give you a comprehensive understanding with which you can do your sadhana with much more clarity. So first of all, the whole universe is there. If you take the universe, it is made up of what we call as nature. So many forces are there which we really can't control. We have not created that, but it is there. Like you have the wind, you have fire, you have water, you have the five elements. These are all the forces of nature. So that is the Brahmanda. Brahmanda means the cosmos. This is one aspect. The other aspect is your world, that is what you experience in this Brahmanda. This is the second aspect. If, for example, the entire solar system is there, Mars is there, Jupiter is there, but are you experiencing all that? No. You've only read it in books, and here and there some photographs you may have seen all that, that's all. Some people they say the telescope, through the telescope I saw this, that, and up to a point. But if you take the whole Brahmanda, it is so vast. The scientists are going on discovering. It is said in our ancient Shastras, very, very interesting, the Jyotisha Shastras, that is astrology texts, they have mentioned that this entire solar system, the depth with which they have explained is amazing. How all the planets revolve around the sun, and then they say the sun revolves around another point, which they call as Vishnu Nabhi. It goes on further. I'm not getting into the full depth, full thing here, because our focus is not that here. Even if you take the great Hora Shastra written by sage Parashara. Parashara was Vyasa's father. Now, in that, he has mentioned, if you know the Jyotisha Shastra, where he has mentioned that it is the earth which revolves around the sun. Yet, in the horoscope and all which they draw, they will say sun moves. He has clearly mentioned it there that it is a relative motion. When I was very young, I used to question all this to many people. How are you saying that, the sun is moving? We know scientifically it's been proved that sun does not move. But without any knowledge, we start just simply making statements. But when you go deep into what our sages have said, they have given out the truths of life. In that he clearly says it's relative motion. If I now start getting into each and every aspect of that, we will digress from this. But what I am trying to say is, this is a very vast universe, Brahmanda. In that Brahmanda, what is it that you are experiencing? Are you experiencing everything? If somebody hadn't come and told you that there are so many planets, you wouldn't have even known that they are there. Maximum you will see is the sun, the moon, a few stars. That's all, right? More than that, what is your experience? You're experiencing your own world, your own lokaha, within this Brahmanda, within this supreme lokaha. Your world is very small. That is what we are dealing with in spirituality. Even in the finding rhythm in life, 12 aspects of your life was given. Now, what do we mean by life? Life is nothing but the world which you are experiencing. You may want a little wealth. Little means I am not defining that you define, okay? You may want X, you may want 100X, you may want 1000X, I don't know. Now, similarly, you relate to a few people in a close way. See, when somebody dies whom you don't know, that doesn't cause any pain to you. But when someone dies whom you know, whom you have related to in a very close way, that causes a lot of pain to you. So, your world is actually a very small world. In that total Brahmanda, you are experiencing a small world. So many aspects are there: wealth, relationships, career, like this, And then the third aspect of lokaha is your antar lokaha, what you are experiencing inside. which is you, and the different states of consciousness. Now, depending upon which aspect of loka, whether you are talking of the Brahmanda aspect, or whether you are talking about the relative aspect, or whether you are talking about the antarloka, the meaning of God will change. Devaha will change. Now, all these three are important in sadhana. Even though you are not experiencing the Brahmanda in totality, you are experiencing a part of it. Then how do you need to conduct yourself so that you don't disturb the world also doesn't disturb it? Not only a question of not disturbing, doing parasparam bhava. How do you do good to each other? We will be seeing that. Similarly, in your immediate loka, that is the relative world which you are experiencing, how do we increase the divine energy? And then as you start going within, in the antarloka, how do you increase divinity? Nourishing gods is understood in three different, not levels, we can say in three different categories. The Brahmanda category, the immediate world, and then the inner world. This is something which you should have in your background. Only then you will be able to understand the different meaning of gods. Because in the scriptures, sometimes the word God is used in a particular context. It may be used in a Brahmanda context. That time it will mean something. Sometimes they may use the word Devaha in the Antarloka context. That time it will mean something else. So now, when you, without this background, without this wisdom, when you just merely read all this, you will get highly confused. That is why people ask, are these lokas existing outside or inside? Where one person actually asked me, sir, wow, you know, when we talk of devas, asuras and all, can you tell me what their address is? No, we cannot do all that. This is all, so it sounds very logical, but actually it stems from lack of understanding of what our great sages have given. There is no end to that kind of questions, But when you go deep and understand, first of all, what is your experience? Three levels: Brahmanda, then the immediate world, and then your antarloka, your what is happening inside you. These are the three. We can say super macro level, then outside level, macro level, outside level, and then inside level. These are the three kinds of experiences. So I will give you the meaning of Devaha in each of these levels, and then after that, when we read these statements, may you nourish the gods by this, may the gods nourish you, you will find, amazingly you will find that in each category it means one thing. So then your understanding of what sadhana is, what yagna is, will become very, very deep. It will broaden tremendously. Okay, so we will stop with that today. In the next session, we will go into the depth of what is Devaha in each of this category. So before that, you need to absorb these points which were given today and just reflect on this point which was explained to you. That is the three levels of your experiences. It doesn't matter even if you make a mistake there. Just put that effort. What is the Brahmanda, the nature which I am experiencing, the forces of nature? What is my experience at the external level, which is the relative world which I am experiencing. And then what is this inner world, antarloka, which I am experiencing? What you are experiencing inside, only you will know. We will leave the guru right now, because immediately somebody will ask a question, sir, can't a guru know? That is all there. But basically, what is happening deep within you, only you will know. So here we are increasing the awareness of your life. See, generally when you say, I am living my life, you really don't know what you mean by that. Your life itself can be defined with respect to these three aspects. Which aspect of life are you referring to? When people say education, they are only talking of one of these aspects. Whereas our great saint said, you have to get educated with respect to all these three aspects. You have to know how you should relate to the Brahmanda. Today, most of the problems in the world are because people have started disturbing nature. Parasparam bhavayanta. So what comes back to us is also negative. I want you to think about this. Similarly, our great sages say that you should know what are all the different aspects of your external world. 12 aspects, that's what we saw, the finding rhythm in life. And then, what is your inner aspect? In all these three aspects, how do we increase the divine energy? How do we become divine with respect to Brahmanda, with respect to the immediate world, with respect to the inner world? That is when your spiritual education is complete. See, what looks so simple, innocuous, innocent, actually is extremely deep. Just with this, you can learn the entire secrets of life. The way they look at life is very deep, very vast, not in a limited way. Today's education is just focused on a few things, that too mostly some technical aspect of the external world, that's all. But if you take the inner world, it is even more deep than the external world. Okay, so do the small homework and come prepared when we go into the different dimensions of this word Devaha. Depending on the category, it will become more meaningful. Your clarity will start increasing. Okay, so now before the Nididhyasana meditation, I will take up one question. This question has been asked by a sadhak. Hari Om Yogishri, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Okay, all this we'll skip. Now the question is, with respect to this principle of right karma plus right bhavana of unconditional surrender and gratitude, which is equal to yagna. See, it's not merely those two. In every verse, every Sunday, more and more aspects are being given. Everything put together is yagna. So don't conclude that only this is yagna. So this makes you a creator of your destiny. Now I have a doubt, Yogishri. You had asked us to observe and learn from people around us as to what principles they have applied or failed to apply in their respective lives, of course without judging them. As I introspected in this context, I found that there is a stream of people who plan and do the right things and every step turns out favorable for them, and they easily climb the stairs of success smoothly. They seem successful even without sadhana. Here I see only efforts and no element of surrender or gratitude. Sometimes they are egoistic too. Another category where whatever they plan and do gets goofed up and they are stuck without any progress, although they have this element of devotion and gratitude naturally. Both of them are not sadhaks. So I got a tad confused here. Where have they gone wrong? How do we approach this? What should be my perspective towards this? Please throw some light on this confusion, Yogishri. Deeply grateful. Oh, you've written deeply grateful. 5 or 6 E's she has put, Deeply grateful for her unconditional love and guidance, Yogishri. Okay. Now, in that emotion, when she has put deeply, now that attracts. So, we should not lose sight of the main question. So, basically, this question is stemming from that session. In one of the last few sessions, I had mentioned that the mind has a tendency to look at the negatives of others. So one way of using that to strengthening your wisdom is start seeing what is the principle, what are the principles they are applying or not applying in that area. So if a person has a negativity and that person is suffering, see, that person is not applying this principle, that is why that person is suffering. So when you do that, you are using that experience to strengthen your wisdom rather than getting into a judgment and you're getting agitated about the other person's negativity. This is what was said. Now, what you are saying is something else. First of all, see, we will go statement by statement. You had asked us to observe and learn from people around us. No, that is not what I said. I never said, simply start observing people and learning from them. No, I said wherever your mind has already gone, you've already started getting involved with the negatives of others. Now, how do you solve that problem? Because when your energies are getting frittered, then you have no energy left to do self-introspection, to learn this wisdom and absorb this further. So, where all is your mind going? One of the things is you start analyzing others, you start judging others, you get involved with the negativity of others. So, as an antidote to that, is that instead of getting involved with the negativity of others, start reading this wisdom in their lives, where your mind has already gone. I never said now sit and start looking at others, apply the wisdom and say all these things. I never said. This is the first point. Because there itself, if you start now observing others, you will have no time to observe yourself. Where it's required only you should do. This wisdom has to be absorbed directly. You don't require to see it in somebody else to understand this. This is the fundamental mistake in the approach. Fundamentally, whatever you're receiving here can be directly absorbed. You can look at your own life, you will absorb. Where your mind has already gone out, there, to bring your mind back, it was suggested that you apply this wisdom there. If a person is successful, you're noticing that. Now, if you just leave your mind, now it may develop jealousy, all these things. So instead of that, why is that person successful? Since you have noted that, why is that person successful? These are the principles they have applied. If you find a person is very negative, now again, if you allow your mind further, it can develop a lot of hatred and negative emotion. Instead of that, that person is having this negativity. See, these are the various problems he or she is facing. That person is not happy, highly stressed. This is the reason. So when you do that, instead of you getting involved with that negativity, now your wisdom has got strengthened. This is what was suggested. So what you have now saying is, of course, without judging them. But if you just sit and without any reason, if you're going to look at others, that will lead to judgment only. So you're saying there are two people, one of them, both are not sadhaks, you're saying. There itself the judgment is there. You're judging whether they are sadhaks or not based on your limited understanding of what is sadhana. What you're meaning by they are not sadhaks is, they may not be attending the Sunday discourses, they may not be doing the yoga sankirtans, that's what you mean. But your understanding of sadhana is very limited, I'll tell you why. Because you're saying, one set of people, they are, okay, both are putting in effort. One you're saying is having devotion, one is not having devotion. That's your basic thing, right? So you're saying these people are planning very well, they are putting in effort, but they seem successful even without sadhana. Planning and then putting in efforts is an essential aspect of sadhana. So how are you saying they are not sadhaks? They are not doing sadhana. They are practicing one aspect of sadhana unconsciously. They may not call it sadhana. Similarly, the other class, they are also putting in effort, but they are saying they are not what you are saying is whatever they plan and do, that gets goofed up, but they have this element of devotion and gratitude naturally. First of all, your data itself is very limited. Whether they have put in sufficient efforts, whether they have planned enough, what is the level of the devotion? What do you mean devotion? Some people say I am God fearing. That is not devotion. If there is one person whom you don't need to fear, it is God and then your Guru. But we fear both God and our Guru also. And then we say, I am a great devotee of that God. Why? Because I am so afraid of that person. So what they are exhibiting as devotion may not be true devotion. So this is not the right approach. See, this is not what I had mentioned in that session. All I had said is, if your mind goes somewhere, now instead of frittering away your energies, apply this wisdom there, learn something from that so that you can get back to your main sadhana of self-transformation. That's all that was said. So you have taken it to a point of extremity and you're practicing something which was never mentioned. So first of all, you should become firmly established in these principles to a certain extent. Without understanding these principles fully, when you start looking at others, you will get confused only. For example, your understanding of sadhana itself is not deep enough. That is why you are calling them as non-sadhaks. A person applies himself, let's say, in a particular sport and he becomes successful. You will say he is a non-sadhak. Why? Because according to you, sadhana means doing this. But he has applied the principles of sadhana without calling it a sadhana. Certain principles. That is why he is successful. So we see sadhana or spirituality in a very broad way. So many principles are there. Wherever anybody applies these principles, they will get the desired results. They may call it this ancient wisdom, they may not call it. See, Bhagavad Gita is nothing but set of principles. If a person practices one principle from this without knowing that this is being given in the Bhagavad Gita, still that principle will work. So if a person puts in effort, plans properly, that is going to give him a certain effect. Another person, in the name of devotion, if he is only thinking negatively, then that will give a certain effect. So let not the external world, that is others, be the primary source of your wisdom. That's a mistake which you're making. This is the primary source of wisdom. Directly understand, directly you absorb. And wherever your mind's energies are getting frittered away, there apply that method so that your energies are intact. You will be able to apply yourself and progress in this inner journey of self-purification. Okay, this is a very important point which she has raised. This is useful for all the sadhaks. That is why I took it up. Okay, so now we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond this physical body, beyond these emotions, beyond these thoughts, lies my essential higher self. My higher self is infinite and divine. From this moment onwards, I choose to become more and more divine. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So, in today's session, further powerful points have been given to you. Even a little bit, when absorbed and practiced, can give you tremendous results in life. As it was mentioned, bhava, your intention is what matters. The greatest blessing for a human being is the choice and this tool of bhavana. When your bhava is negative, the lower consciousness. The bhava is positive, higher consciousness. And with that bhava, you can reach the infinite also, staying where you are. That is the amazing thing. Okay? So, you do the homework and come back next week. We'll go into more depth. Thank you very much. Hari Om.